Hey y'all, it's Pamela. Welcome back to part 2 of our Pirate and Mermaid Party. Now, if you haven't checked out part 1, which was all about our DIY projects and decor, then what are you waiting for? Go check it out as soon as you're done with this video. Doesn't matter which order you watch them in, you can finish this one and then go back to part 1. Totally fine. Now, everybody knows that the best part to a party is the food. I mean, who wants to go to a party that doesn't have good food? Not me. In this video, I'm just going to walk you through everything that I made for the party. It was Pirate and Mermaid themed, so all of the foods go along with that theme. So, if you'd like to see how I prepared all of the food for this party, including a yummy tutorial to the cake that I made, then just keep watching. So here's the menu for the party. I came up with a fish taco bar because I thought that would be like a perfect beachy themed food, and it's great because people can just grab a tortilla and some fish and throw whatever they want on top. I did a vegetable tray, a cheese and cracker tray, and a fruit tray, and I just gave them all piratey names to make it cute. For the vegetable tray, I'm using cucumbers and calling them sea cucumbers, and the carrots are going to be crab legs. So I am just alternating those out on the tray and then putting ranch dressing in the center. Then I'm moving on to the cheese tray, and I just got 3 different blocks of different types of cheese, and I'm cutting them into little like triangular wedges so they look like shark teeth. Okay, moving along to our pirate jewels, which is just a fruit tray. I have cantaloupe, pineapple, grapes, blueberries, and strawberries. And then I saved the very top of the pineapple because it always makes a cute and easy centerpiece. Okay, now that all of the food is prepped, So this is literally the easiest dessert ever. It calls for vanilla pudding, Cool Whip, cream cheese, and then the sand part is just made from vanilla wafers and like a handful of Oreos. So I'm going to start with blending up my softened cream cheese. And then I'm going to add in my Cool Whip and just mix all of that together until it's a nice creamy consistency. Once that is all blended well, just leave the mixer running and add in your milk and your pudding packets. And just mix that up for like 30 seconds to a minute until you can see all of the pudding granules dissolve. Okay, once the mixture looks like pudding, I am going to stick the mixing bowl in the refrigerator so that it can firm up, and then I'm going to get started on the sand. To make the sand, you can use either a blender or a food processor. I'm using my blender because it's much larger than my food processor and I can fit everything inside of it. So I'm just going to take my box of vanilla wafers and then a handful of Oreos and blend it up. And that's what it should look like sand. Now I'm going to But the problem with sand buckets is that you can't see all of the pretty layers, and that's what this dessert is all about. So just take your sand and place it on the bottom, and then you're going to layer it with your pudding, and then again the sand and pudding back and forth until you've run out of ingredients. And you do want to finish off with the sand on top. So this is what it looks like when you're done. It's really cute. It does look like sand, and to just put a finishing touch on top, I used a shovel for the scoop. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, it is time for some cake. So I am going to be bad actually because I don't have a lot of time, and I'm going to use a cake mix. I know, shameful. But I am going to make my icing from scratch, so it's all okay. Alright, I am using a cake mix and a half because I want this cake to be nice and tall, and I already had half of the cake mix in my pantry, so it just worked out perfectly. So I'm taking my eggs and blending them together, and then I used my oil and my water, and now I am adding my cake mix. So since this is like a beachy themed cake, I thought it would be fun to do ombre layers. So I'm just going to divide up my batter into 5 different bowls. I'm going to use blue, green, and yellow food coloring to make the different layers of color, and I'm going to leave that first bowl white so that it starts with white and then goes from there to like a light blue and then like a greenish blue and just gets darker and darker as we go. So here are the finished colors. Now I just need to get them into the oven. So I'm going to prep my pans by spraying them with some spray and then flouring the surface. My house smells amazing right now, can I just say? Okay, so while my cake pans are cooling, I am going to whip up my icing. I'm making a buttercream icing, so you start with butter that is nicely softened, and then add vanilla and milk, and then powdered sugar until you reach the right consistency. And that's it, those 4 ingredients. So once my icing is done and my cakes have cooled, I'm going to start stacking them on my cake plate. And I'm starting with the darkest color first and working my way up to the top with the white layer and placing a layer of icing in between each one. Now with my leftover icing, I am going to make 2 different blue oceany colors. I'm going to take half of that and place it into my piping bag. And then with the next color, I am going to put this all over the cake. So once that is all nice and smooth, I'm going to take my piping bag and make little wave designs all along the bottom border of the cake. Now I'm going to create the treasure map on top of the cake by just using some brown sugar and then some red icing to make an X. And then I'm going to take some melted chocolate and I'm just going to draw 2 straight lines and stick this in the freezer. And when it's done, I will cut it up and use it for the dash lines to make the treasure map. Now I am taking some melted white chocolate and I'm going to make the mermaid tail for the mermaid portion of the cake. To create the mermaid tail, I drew out a sketch on a piece of paper earlier, so I just placed a piece of wax paper on top of that, and now I'm filling it in with my white chocolate. Then I'm going to use my sprinkles on top. I have pearls and then pink and glitter, and I'm covering the white chocolate in the sprinkles. And then I'm going to stick this in the freezer. And as I stick the mermaid tail in, I'm going to grab my chocolate out because it is completely hardened, and I'm going to cut it up into little dash marks and just put that on the top of the cake to make the treasure map complete. Okay, and now my mermaid tail is also done, so I'm just going to find a good spot on the side of the cake to place it, and then I'm going to fix the icing around it. And all done! I could not wait to cut this cake up and see what it looked like inside. And I was not disappointed. It was so cute. It came out perfect. Everyone loved it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brayden. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Blow it out. Okay, blow it out. Blow it.
It was such a fun birthday party. I am actually sad that it's over, but I'm on to planning the next big thing. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more. Thank you guys. Bye bye.